Something strange is brewing in Las Vegas. Just days before the draft, bold decisions are shaking the foundation of Raider Nation, and one move in particular has fans and insiders completely stunned. You won't believe what's unfolding. Behind the scenes, the Las Vegas Raiders are less than a week away from spending their number 6 pick in the 2025 NFL Draft. Michigan's Mason Graham is arguably one of the 3 best defensive players in the draft, alongside Colorado's two-way star, Travis Hunter, and Penn State edge rusher Abdul Carter. Graham is widely considered to be the best interior defensive lineman to come along in several drafts, and his comparison is easily recognizable for Raider Nation. Christian Wilkins, CBS Sports' Josh Edwards made the comparison. There were multiple prospects in the initial conversation regarding a comparison for Graham, wrote Edwards. He is less athletic than Marcel Darius had been coming out of Alabama, but he is more of a threat as a pass rusher than Dalvin Tomlinson had been coming out of the same program, so Wilkins was the compromise. The two are also of similar size. Wilkins just finished his first season with the Raiders after wrapping up a 5-year stint with the Dolphins, who drafted him number 13 overall. NFL.com's Lance Zierlein compared Graham to Wilkins too. 3 technique, who provides activity, effort, strength, and quickness. Graham's first-step quickness makes interior disruption inevitable. He has the instant read and response to regularly beat lateral blocks. He's stout at the point of attack with great leverage and body control, but will lose some ground against double teams. Graham's lack of length makes it tougher for him to find quick wins as a rusher, but he more than makes up for it with his activity level and foot quickness. Harmonious hands and feet are the catalyst for his edge-to-edge counters, while his extended effort and closing burst help him get home. He may not dominate as a pro, but his strength, body control, and quickness should allow him to play his brand of ball and become a good starter in an upfield defensive front. Graham would bring a young, high-end talent to the interior of the defensive line and provide a long-term boost to the position. The Raiders still have Wilkins, and they re-signed esteemed veteran Adam Butler, considered one of the better gap-sound interior tackles in the league. Raiders trade away chance for QB of future in ESPN mock draft. The Las Vegas Raiders shocked the NFL this offseason when new general manager John Spytek traded for Seattle Seahawks quarterback Geno Smith. The team needed a massive upgrade under center, but many expected them to address this in the NFL draft, not on the open market. However, given that Smith is already 34 years old and struck a team-friendly extension, the franchise could still seek a long-term option. While selecting a young quarterback in the first round may be careless, Las Vegas has visited with several mid-round signal callers and is expected to target the position on day 2 of the draft. Players like Jackson Dart, Will Howard, Quinn Ewers, and Jalen Milroe are reported to be at the top of the team's list, but the draft is unpredictable. In ESPN's recent mock draft, however, the team seals its own fate by trading the number 68 pick to the Pittsburgh Steelers, which they used to select Milroe. Already in this mock draft, the Raiders had missed out on Dart and several other quarterback prospects. Yet they had the opportunity to land Milroe and traded it away for the number 83 pick and a 2026 third-rounder. With the number 83 pick, they select defensive lineman Shamar Turner, and Howard gets chosen shortly after as well. While Las Vegas did draft Ashton Jeanty and Ohio State offensive tackle Josh Simmons in the first 2 rounds, it would be a blow for the team to leave day 2 without a quarterback. This is a mere projection by ESPN, but it depicts how cruel and cutthroat the NFL draft can be. Why Raiders shouldn't draft Ashton Jeanty with number 6 pick. The Las Vegas Raiders are one of the first major wildcards in the 2025 NFL Draft, which starts on April 24th in Green Bay. In typical Raiders fashion, there is no real consensus on what they might do with their number 6 overall pick, but there are several intriguing options for them. A quarterback, specifically Colorado's Shedeur Sanders, could be in play as a long-term pick to sit behind veteran Geno Smith for a couple of years. They have major needs all over their roster, but the far more likely, and perhaps far more intriguing option is Boise State running back Ashton Jeanty. The Raiders have been the favorites to land the top running back prospect, and on Friday general manager John Spytek was asked about the possibility of taking him at the top of the draft, per NFL.com's Grant Gordon. Before he could even answer, head coach Pete Carroll told him to be careful. Spytek then talked about the importance of adding elite players and drew a comparison to Saquon Barkley's impact on the Philadelphia Eagles. I'm going to be careful about talking about any specific player, but more broadly to the running back question. We just saw Saquon Barkley just change the Eagles in 1 year. Now they had a great team around him, and it was adding an elite player. I think when you sit where we sit, the idea is to add elite players at any position. I don't try to devalue any certain position. The Jeanty pick is going to be a complicated one for whatever team ends up taking him in the first round. He is without a doubt one of the most talented players in the draft, the best at his position, and was an absolutely dominant player in college. There are a lot of things to like about him, and he can absolutely change an offense and a team if everything goes according to plan. The key is, it has to be the right team and the right offense. The Barkley comparison actually offers quite a cautionary tale for a team like the Raiders, and Spytech even unintentionally mentioned it in his answer. The Eagles already had a great team around him. Barkley was also signed as a free agent. The Eagles did not have to use a top 10 pick to add him into their organization. He was the final piece of their Super Bowl puzzle, not one of the starting pieces. One of the biggest reasons the running back position became so devalued in recent years wasn't just because of how short their careers are. It is also because of how dependent their production and impact is on the team and situation around them. They need a great line, a strong passing game, and a good system for everything to click. Barkley had none of that when he played for the New York Giants after they selected him with a number 2 overall pick. Instead of having him be the final piece of their offense, he was the piece they tried to build around. And while Barkley had some individual success, it was not the same as he experienced in Philadelphia. The team's success was nowhere close to the same. It was not because he was different. The situation was different. It is a similar story with the most recent running back to be picked in the top 10, Atlanta Falcons running back Bijan Robinson. He is great, dynamic, and makes a lot of plays. But rest of the Falcons' offense is so flawed that it has not yet made a huge impact on their offense or their team's success. Jeanty could be a steal and immediate impact player for somebody in the first round, but it should be a team that already has most of the other core players in place. Are the Raiders that team? There should be some doubt about that, and the Raiders need to be aware of that. What could Raiders get for Aidan O'Connell? Las Vegas reportedly could trade quarterback before end of the draft. There is a chance the Las Vegas Raiders could part ways with quarterback Aidan O'Connell in the coming days, or during the April 24-26 draft. There have been media reports suggesting the Raiders could trade O'Connell, and it certainly makes sense. There is a strong chance he is not in the plan moving forward of the team's new regime. O'Connell, who was a 4th-round draft pick in 2023, was picked from a past regime. The new regime is moving forward with veteran Geno Smith as the starter for the immediate future, and likely will select a quarterback in the draft at some point to groom behind Smith. That could pave the way for O'Connell's exit. Still, there is also a possibility that the Raiders could opt to keep O'Connell as a backup in 2025. He has 17 starts in 2 years. And, while he's been far from perfect, O'Connell could be more ready to help than a rookie should Smith sustain an injury and miss any amount of time. Yet if Las Vegas does decide to deal him, there could be some interest. That interest would likely come on day 3 of the draft after most of the top quarterback prospects are taken. If the Raiders do swing a deal for O'Connell, what could they get in return? In the big picture, the answer isn't much. But if a team like the Cleveland Browns or Pittsburgh Steelers feel desperate, that could change. New England recently traded second-year quarterback Joe Milton and a 7th-round pick to the Dallas Cowboys for a 5th-round pick. While O'Connell is more experienced than Milton, Milton may be considered to have more upside because of his big arm. So, if the Raiders trade O'Connell, a late-round pick swap may be the most likely outcome. Or, the Raiders can see how the draft plays out and then keep O'Connell and may try to flip him at highest value if there is a quarterback injury in training camp. But this is a situation worth monitoring in the coming days. Crazy times ahead for us, Raider Nation. This draft could change everything or leave us with more questions. If you're just as hyped or stressed as I am, drop a like and tell me in the comments what you would do at pick 6.